people? And today we're breaking down film on Kenneth Grant, Miami Dolphins defensive tackle. And their rookie first round pick is really starting to come into his own. I would say since that Browns game, so the last 4 or 5 games, he has really taken a step up, and I think he's kind of improved each and every week. You got to see some really high level reps from him in this Washington game. I like that rep right there on a 3rd and 1 was one of his highest reps of the season. You're seeing that athleticism, that power and explosiveness is really showing up. Like the game has clearly slowed down for him. He's holding his own better at the point of attack versus double teams, playing with better leverage. I think as a pass rusher, he's still kind of, doing the same thing. I think, he can add a move to his bag. But you can clearly still see the athletic potential there and how he could develop in that area too. And he's starting to win quickly and penetrate into the backfield versus the run. It's been flashing for weeks. And that first play against the Washington that I just showed was kind of the him actually getting the opportunity to finish it. Because the other ones, when he was trying it, they were running away from him, or another teammate didn't quite do their job, so he didn't get the opportunity to actually finish in those spots. But it was still a very high level rep across the board, and it's been a lot of good stuff. Less bad. I mean, he's not playing perfect or anything. Still a lot of development to go, but a lot of the rookies are coming to their own. Especially, Grant's development has been nice as the season has gone on. And I think the rookies' development has been a big part of this team's turnaround and why they've been a lot more competitive these last few weeks. And it's a pretty big reason you got to stay patient. Now, hopefully, he can continue this. But this rep right here, where he's aligned up as a one tech, and he's able to get into this B gap right here. So he's lined up in this A gap. And the fact that he gets basically, you can call this a backdoor type situation. This guy leans over the top. This just shows one really good quickness, and then also the instincts are there. Because this was on his college film, but he hadn't really tried this at all going to the NFL level, because I feel like he was just thinking so much. Now he's just feeling it. So he feels this guy go over the top, lean out over on his skis, and he's gone. He lunges. You hit that club, that left hand right there. You hit the club, boom, arm over, and then you're able to then get back across. So you win super fast, but you got to still get back over to where your primary gap would be, because that's where they're trying to get, and you make that play. Just really, really good job. Feel athleticism, and then get back down and make that tackle in the backfield. That is high level stuff. That's about as good as it gets in those situations, and that's something that we just wanted to see from Grant, and we're starting to see it more and more this Commanders game. I thought he was quite good throughout, even when he wasn't making the tackles. That one's the obvious one where he's making a highlight play. Then there's plays like this where, it might not stand out on the stat sheet, and maybe if you watch it, you might not even notice it. But he's making an impact play on this, even when he's not tackling. Look at 63, try to cut him off, get to the outside, basically reach him. They're working some pin pull here, and with a QB power type situation, he just runs through the center. Not their best player. Biotish is a very known for not being the strongest guy, and Kenneth Grant took advantage of that. And if Grant doesn't wash him down this line and basically spill Mariota to the outside to where all of these guys are playing, this is a huge team effort. And it just shows, look at this leg drive. That lower half is moving, the athleticism. Look at his feet in comparison to a lot of the other players on the field. That is really good foot quickness out of Grant. You should not be able to move like that at that size. Sometimes things just finally click, and it's been that way, I think, for weeks. And he still has plenty of room to grow. I think, we'll still see some growth as the season goes on, and hopefully he can continue that into the rest of his career. And then doing it from different alignments too. That first play being in the first 2 plays here actually at the one tech, getting to take advantage, but using his quickness as a one technique, which is always nice. And then here's a 3 tech taking on a double team. So usually it's the opposite. Usually at 3 tech is where you get to utilize your quickness. You get a lot of more one-on-one matchups, and in that one tech, that's when you're taking on double teams. Here, you got to be able to do both from different spots. Take on the double team, which is nice to see. He doesn't make the impact play, or he doesn't make the tackle. Chop makes the tackle, and Jordan Phillips, but they're the ones who get single teams. Jordan Phillips doesn't, he might get a late double team, but Grant is the one eating up space, and people are now able to fly upfield, make plays. And I think this is a good job from Grant, because they try to attack that low hip. He's playing with better pad level, better bend too, bending that one knee. The other one's a little more stiff to hold his ground, which allows him to anchor right here, being in this spot. So he gets pushed back about half a yard, and he's able to anchor and hold his own at the point of attack. Like, that just shows that play strength was never the issue. He clearly has the strength, because when you're in this spot, and if you don't have a lot of play strength, like you're going to the ground, like it was clearly more of a technical issue out of him. He's able to stay off of it and then still get involved. Like, he's now kind of involved in that pile, pushing people back, even throwing an offensive lineman around. I think that was Tunsil, actually. This play I actually want to talk about because it shows off some traits that I want to mention. He doesn't quite make the play, but this is what I want. I wanted to see more stunt usage out of Grant. In these last few weeks, the stunt stuff, where he's either the loop guy or the crash guy, I feel like he's looked a lot more active there, and he's made some impact plays. But also, like, watch this. So I feel like that he times this up pretty well. He loops around here. This guy actually adjusts. Right here, he works through contact, and then look at the hip flexibility in the bend. Like, he actually shows some pretty good hip flexibility and bend out of contact here to get back and, like, actually force Mariota off his spot. Like, he's the one who impacts this play and forces Mariota straight into Chubb. Chubb just whiffs the sack on Mariota. But I actually thought, like, the athletic traits on this play were very impressive. Like, you should not be able to kind of bend and, be flexible at your hip area like that for a guy of his size. That's in like that 6'3", 330-ish range. Just affecting plays there. Here you get to see another stunt. Here he is the crash guy. Like, he's starting to feel more comfortable. Crash down on this left guard. The center has to then pass it off. They're late to kind of feel this left guard is. So the center has to get to Chubb. And now Grant is then able to work upfield, and he's the one who kind of rushes Mariota because he's going to come in unblocked now on Mariota, and he has to rush his throw, and Mariota ends up missing Debo on the play. So affecting plays in a few different ways, and I want to see, I think when it comes to his pass rush moves, like when he isn't working stunts, he's typically trying to bull rush, work speed to power. I want to see him just add a little more to the tool belt because, like, clearly he can move people down, but like if you don't have something else, then that's how offensive linemen are going to expect you to do. If you have something else, then the power move becomes more effective, and then you can also mix in your changeup. So I'd like to see that happen. And it's like plays like this. Like, this is a very quality rep from Grant, almost pretty much just as good as the first play that I showed. It's just this one he doesn't get the tackle for loss because they're not running directly at him; they're running back this way. But like if Zeke Biggers, this was like probably his worst rep of the game, and I thought Zeke played pretty well too. But Zeke just kind of gets washed out of his gap. If Zeke doesn't get washed out of this gap, and this running back has to hesitate a little bit, like Grant is right in the backfield right away. Like, this is really good movement, good feel. Look at him flash the hands like he's going to get engaged, and then he swipes down and hits the arm over again. Just absolutely great feel and instincts in this spot. Great bend in that lower half and get over. And look how he's able to be flexible and instantly get down the line. It's just this area right here didn't end up, stopping and holding their own at the point of attack. If everyone kind of holds their own, then Grant would have the opportunity to make the flash play. It just doesn't happen in this situation because the circumstances are a little bit different. But if you just focus on him, the play is just as good of a win. Like, it's a really good win. It's just, the play the Commanders ran wasn't the exact same, so he didn't get to make the impact tackle. And it's not like he missed it. He never really had a chance. And those were all the Commander plays I wanted to look at. We're going to go back to, the last few weeks, because the last game I think I did where Grant was the Browns game, so I'm going the past 3 weeks as well. Here he is. Like, look at the knockback power. Working a stunt again. This time, I believe that might be Quinn Bell. Yeah, with Quinn Bell. He's the crash guy. Look at him crash down and violently take out the right guard. Look at the pop he has. Like, the right guard completely thrown off balance. The center tries to, loop late to help him. And now Grant's able to get off of it. And you can just see really good athleticism kind of closes there and then forces Josh Allen out of the pocket. Has to make a throw. Impacts the play. They're able to get a completion. But from a process standpoint, like, I know the results don't work out how you want it, but from a process standpoint, this is what you want to see out of Grant because the results will follow. Like, eventually, in a different situation, that could turn into a sack if the QB isn't able to see it as quickly, or if, maybe on this side, Sealer cracks down a little bit more, Josh Allen isn't able to quite step up, or Bell constricts. Like, if other people are doing things slightly different, that makes Grant play look even better. Like, he's the one making the most impact here on this one out of, like, everyone up front. And had a couple plays like this. He's getting down the field pretty good laterally, too. Like, he's not getting cut off as much. When he does get cut off, he kind of goes through people, puts offensive linemen in lanes. I hear, like, you look at his lower half, moving really well laterally, just slowing things down. They set the edge here. Chop does a really good job setting the edge. Everyone doing their job, holding their own on the defensive line, and it allows Jordan Brooks to come downhill and make a clean tackle where he's not getting blocked and he's able to make those plays. That's why you're seeing Jordan Brooks play so well. Is a lot of these defensive tackles are playing at higher levels, and Jordan Brooks is a very good player, but he wasn't able to quite showcase his full-on skill set earlier on in the season because things were so difficult for him. That's why, I think context is important with a lot of these players. Here, Grant does a good job collapsing the pocket, like I'm saying. Like, he had a little bit, he's doing a good job hand fighting here, and then he just turns into power, right? And he's able to push that, and people do a pretty good job constricting the pocket on Lamar so he can't step up into it. Now he's able to escape late, and then here Grant's able to kind of turn him open, and he's the one kind of chasing down Lamar, forcing him to kind of throw that one away. So really close. I think Grant has improved. I think the whole season his pass rushing has actually been pretty consistent. I think pass rushing has been around the same level. He's clearly put a lot of effort into the run game focus because he was really struggling early on, and he's improved massively there. So now I think, especially in the offseason, I would like to see, I'm not expecting crazy improvement as a pass rusher. I think there's a lot of tools to work with there. I think he can still be impactful, but for him to really take a jump, adding some tools to the bag, and I think that will be an off-season focus for Grant, or at least it should be, because I think that's what could really elevate and take his game. Even right here, he tries to do a little something, he gets double teamed a lot, so he doesn't get a lot of true one-on-one reps. Here he actually gets a true one-on-one pass set. Guy gets on him early. He tries to kind of work a push and pull, get to the inside. The right guard does a good job resetting. So what does Grant do? He just goes to power, and look what he does to the right guard. So it's not a great rep. I would give the right guard the win, but you can just still see the straight up power. Look at the guy's feet. Not able to anchor. He's just getting pushed back the whole time. So really hard guy to stonewall. If you just literally just focus on his feet, he's hopping, hop, 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 hop. Literally does 5 hops, which is very nice. Usually as an offensive lineman, you can do the 1 hop, but then you got to be able to anchor maybe 2. That's really nice. Here against that right guard again, working power, but able to open him up. This is something I think he's got to work on, and it's nice to see here, is when he is working power, you don't want to just go straight down the middle and always collapse people. Sometimes you're in that lane, this B gap lane right here, kind of turn the guy open. He tries to rip. He just starts to, use that power to turn those hips open. He's able to affect this. Now, if the other people in the interior are able to get a quicker win, Jalen Phillips getting double teamed, Sealer, and also getting double teamed. Phillips, not the greatest pass rusher, so they're not able to quite get a great rep. So Grant's really the only one getting a quality pass rush rep here. If anyone else is able to constrict that pocket a little bit more, they might be able to get after Lamar, but he's able to escape and make a great play. Good work from him. This is where I think Grant started flashing hey, I can be explosive. This is something I was preaching early on. Quite not asking him to 2 gap as much and allow him to 1 gap. Let him to penetrate, because even though he's a bigger guy, I feel this gets undersold. As a 3-tech, he is quick. He is super quick, and I feel he's at his most comfortable when he's allowed to play aggressive. And look at him just shoot this gap. This is another one where he would have impacted the play if everyone else kind of did their job. Bradley Chubb kind of gets taken out of his gap there. They have a DB on the outside getting sealed. Darryl Dotson's not able to, they get a huge hole. Imagine the people responsible for this gap, Chubb and the defenders off screen, are able to hold their own a little bit more, and Henry has to hesitate. Grant wins his reps so fast, he would be able to get down there and make that impact, but Chubb also knifes to the inside, and, Grant's not able to work through him. But this is an example of, how quickly he can win with his quickness, while still maintaining his gap integrity. That's still where he was responsible for. Here's another example, just exploding off the ball. Penetration, but this time able to kind of reset the line of scrimmage here with this right guard, push, turn those hips open, and he's winning his rep here very nicely. He's the one who kind of forces Henry to have to work down the line of scrimmage. He still gets a decent gain, but it's not because of what KG was doing. The other, Benito and Matthew Butler don't have perfect reps here. They kind of get worked in their situations. But you're seeing Grant getting control. Look at him kind of shed 77 there. He's in control of the situation, peeking this gap, seeing Henry might work back the other way, shed him down to the ground. Then he gets back into that primary gap, get over there, help make the tackle near the line. All the rookies converging on him with Grant, Trader, Phillips, getting involved, holding that to a 2-yard gain. And he's doing this against fairly decent offensive linemen. This is a good right guard for the Falcons. Look at him, just pure bull rush. underneath, boom, good hand placement, good leg drive, playing with better pad level as a rusher, bringing hips through the contact, and now you're just leg driving and like this is a really good rep. Yeah, Chop also has a really nice win, and it forces Cousins to make a quicker decision, and he's not like this is what you want to do up front. Like if you're not going to always be able to just get the instant win where you're coming in unblocked, constricting those run lanes, staying disciplined in your pass rush lane, making an impact on the play, so then it can help your guys in the secondary, making life as difficult as possible on the offensive players. Now, will the offensive players still find some success on those plays? Yes, they're getting paid to do that, but their percentage of success will go down. Here's another time where like he's doing a good job working laterally, holding his own at the point of attack, and then he's able to like read the block, and then Jordan Brooks comes in unblocked. He makes a great play. Jalen Phillips is also unblocked, and now those guys are able to make a tackle, and then Grant would be there to clean it up if needed. But like he's just doing a much better job, not getting displaced, reading things, the feel. Like here, he gets cut off. This time, like this is one of the examples where 64 actually does cut him off. But to cut him off, he had to like kind of risk a little bit of his power, play with high pad level. So what does Grant do? Goes right through him, draws the holding penalty. Like this would have been a holding penalty, and then Bijan actually ends up fumbling on that play, so the holding didn't matter. But like these are plays that like Grant is really affecting, and like I'm really excited for his development. Like he has truly turned the page, and a lot of them, like even Jonah just had his probably his best game. Jonah's still the one I'm most worried about for sure. But everyone else, especially like when you consider draft like their stock where they were taken, I feel still pretty good about Grant. Even as first rounder, all the other guys I feel good about, especially being late rounders. I think you're finding pretty good. And I think at least a couple of those late rounders will be success hits, which is a very good sign for most classes. Kind of just comes down to what ends up happening with that second round pick, and that's more of a wait and see situation. I think down the line, probably next year, really how that one's going to turn out. So, if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe to the